My maid of honor's intoxicated boyfriend caused chaos at my wedding. I shouldn't have invited him.
Where's the chaos control in that?
Oh, nice reference, dog. Oh, yeah, bow. Me, 26 female, and my husband, 24 male, got married back in October of 2023. It was the wedding of my dreams, except for what I heard about my maid of honor's boyfriend. But I wanted to add about the wedding shower first. By the way, this comes from user creative unicorn16 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So the day before the wedding shower, I offered to take her to the job interview that she had on the Friday before the Saturday that we had the wedding shower on, because I knew she really needed a job to pay her bills, which is why I offered. Then after I dropped her back off at the house, her boyfriend and her were asking me if they were allowed to spend the night at my house on the day of the wedding shower. So I wasn't out too late at night by taking them home afterwards. And I said, well, I would have to ask my parents because it's still their house and I respect their rules of their house. And plus, two, I have my one friend who came in from 3 hours away spending the night here already in the guest room. So I won't have any room for you guys to stay. And she was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Do you think you'll be able to give us a ride in the morning though, or in the afternoon for your wedding shower? And I told her I'm not sure because I have to set up for the wedding shower and I'm going to be super busy. She said, okay, I'll see if my boyfriend's mom can take us. So basically the whole time I was giving her a 50-50 answer, not a yes or a no. Then the next morning she texted me and asked, when are you picking us up? And I looked at my husband, who was my fiance at the time, and I was like, I gave her a 50-50 answer if I can come pick her up or not. But knowing as I'm going to be the only one helping my mom out today, along with my dad, I'm probably not going to be able to pick her up. So I was stressed out the whole day trying to set up for the wedding shower because my husband had a meeting to go to. Nobody was able to come over to help me out, and my mom was stressing me out on top of it by asking me, did you get this done? Did you get that done? Blah, 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 blah. Then while I was in the middle of trying to set stuff up, the maid of honor calls me, and because she lived in an area that didn't have very good reception, I couldn't really hear what she was saying. All I heard through the phone was, I'm going to be running late. Boyfriend's mom taking us, getting a shower and getting ready. I'll see you soon. So, OP, I'm going to call you out right now. When you don't understand what someone's saying, you have to let them know. That says, and that's all I heard on the phone. And I was like thinking in my head that she better not be coming to my house, getting a shower and getting ready here because my parents' house is not people's personal hotel. While I was upstairs in my bathroom getting a shower after everything got done, my fiance was in a bathroom with me trying to calm me down because I was on the verge of a panic attack because there's just so much going on at the same time. After the shower, I found out from my mom that my maid of honor was at the door with no shirt on, only a bra and a skirt with her boyfriend, and had a bottle of tequila in his hand. In the doorway, it's easy to see who's standing there from the kitchen, and my dad's army buddy of 40 plus years saw that maid of honor was half nudie, basically. Apparently, she asked my mom where I was, and my mom said she's upstairs, getting ready. And maid of honor was like, oh, can I use the bathroom downstairs? And my mom was like, sure. And later on, my mom asked me, did she ask you if she could use our shower? Because her and her boyfriend got a shower downstairs in the basement. I said, no, I didn't tell her anything. I can't believe she did that. Fast forward to a little bit later, me growing up in a household where it's polite to bring like at least a bag of chips or a big bottle of soda to a gathering or a party you've been invited to. So me not thinking anything of it, I thought her boyfriend brought the bottle of tequila as a housewarming gift. And boy was I wrong because he drank that whole bottle by himself throughout the duration of the party. Dude, what is that? Who brings a personal bottle to a wedding shower?
Did you not share it? You're like, all right, cheers, guys. You don't even pour it. You just like drink from the bottle. He just sounds gross. He sounds really gross.
This is a gross guy. Once the wedding shower was over, her boyfriend was going through this depressive episode and was super wasted. I was thinking in my head, you know these people have to go home, so I made sure to leave the house early enough to make sure that they got home because I simply just didn't want to deal with it anymore. While we were on the road taking them home, and me being hard of hearing, I can't really hear very well behind me. According to my husband, my maid of honor's boyfriend opened up a can of booze in my back seat and was drinking it in my car. If I was pulled over for any reason, I probably could have gotten in way more trouble because of an open container in my car. This was one of the reasons I didn't want to invite maid of honor's boyfriend to the wedding. And my parents agreed with me too because they did not want him there as well. But they also agreed with me that it would be weird that maid of honor was the only one who was not allowed to have a date to the wedding. while everyone else was able to.
Guess what? At the end of the day, you know what I say. It's your wedding. It's your rules.
Yep. Your wedding, your rules. That's the law of the land.
Them's is the rules, unfortunately. If you don't like it, stay out of it.
So that's why I don't really talk to her anymore, because looking back on everything that happened and her asking me for all of these things, I had to pay for her bridesmaid dresses, which I didn't get paid for until about a year after the fact. And just her using me as her personal chauffeur after reflecting on all the times we rode together. And I felt like that's not a real friend. And I should have just made my matron of honor to be my maid of honor if I knew this was how it was going to go down. Personally, I feel like I should have put my foot down more with her, but me being a people pleaser, it was really hard for me to do that at the time, which is fair. It's hard to step out of your comfort zone.
Very.
And I also didn't want to deal with more drama than I was already dealing with because of the wedding. Yeah, you also don't want to make drama at your own event. Fast forward to around our wedding day. Prior to the wedding, I never liked my maid of honor's boyfriend, and never would I like him. And I did not want to invite him, but she would have been the only guest without a +1. On the day of, maid of honor brought her boyfriend with her the same morning we were all getting ready. My bridesmaid, who drove 3 to 4 hours for the wedding, had to go get maid of honor and her boyfriend because they didn't have a car. And my maid of honor was trying to ask me to give her a ride the day of. What? How crazy do you have to be to ask the bride to give you a ride on the day of her wedding?
I mean, come on. We already know, like, they're crazy.
It's absurd. It's like, you're thoughtless.
Obviously.
My bridesmaid said, no, I'll get her because it's your day. My maid of honor gets there, and I found out from my husband that my maid of honor just dumped her boyfriend off on him and the other groomsmen while they were getting ready instead of asking if he could hang out.
Don't do that.
Yeah, especially because, like, nobody knows this guy. And he's, well, you can't tell someone that the person they're dating is, like, hard to be around. It's like, that's a hard conversation. My husband said that later on that the boyfriend was whining and saying, I should have been a groomsman over and over again. And my husband was like, dude, I barely know you. Yeah, I can imagine him there with his bottle of nameless tequila, because we don't do free sponsors here. And he's just sitting there with the bottle like, man, I should have been a groomsman, man.
Who are you?
Also, what is your name?
What year is it?
All I know is your name is boyfriend. When my maid of honor comes upstairs, everything seemed fine. We're all having fun, drinking, and jamming out to some music. Cut to the ceremony, we had a beer man instead of a flower girl because there were too many littles to be a flower girl or a ring bearer. Our beer man had shots handed out, and I found out later that the boyfriend took many people's for them because they didn't want them. Yeah, it sounds like boyfriend abuses alcohol. Not gonna lie.
Not a little bit. A lot of it.
Like, sounds like it. Yes, I know this was a mistake of ours, but we did the TikTok trend of beer man at our wedding because my husband had a little brother that could have been our ring bearer, but my aunt's 4 kids, 2 females and 2 males, could have also been one as well. So we leveled the playing field by just doing a modern day beer man. Such a good call to prevent any sort of like, well, my little Jimmy should have been the ring bearer. It's like,
no, my little Ricky should have done it.
Yeah, it's like, God, what a nightmare that would be. Fast forward to the pictures after the ceremony. All the wedding party went back inside, and it was just me and my husband and my 2 bridesmaids, but they hung in the back in case I needed help with my dress. And no maid of honor. Normally, the maid of honor is supposed to hang back with you to help you with anything, but she didn't. She was more worried about her boyfriend. All seemed fine, and my 2 bridesmaids came upstairs with me before the reception to help switch me into my sneakers, and the one bridesmaid was sewing my sleeve back on because it was starting to rip.
Why were none of these girls your maid of honor?
I don't know. Lesson learned.
They deserve this honor more than the maid of honor herself?
I guess maybe she just really likes the maid of honor, but not when she's dating a boy like this.
I don't know.
I do know people who are completely different when they're single versus when they're dating somebody, and it's hard to navigate because they'll switch up on you like that.
They morph into a different person with that partner.
Right. And it's usually like a codependent thing.
And then it gets gross.
Yeah. All of a sudden, my mom came into the room furious and irritated, which caught me off guard. She said, I'm just letting you know right now that there is a lot of crap happening downstairs right now and that I am not happy about, and I am not going to explain anything because I don't want to ruin your day. And I was like, okay. And then she stormed off back downstairs.
You're like, guys, what do I do? She doesn't want to ruin my day, but it's kind of ruined right now.
You just ruined it by yelling at me. Fast forward to dinner. I'm eating my dinner with green beans and steak. The whole time, maid of honor was complaining about how wasted her boyfriend is, not apologizing about his behavior at all. And I'm over here trying to enjoy myself and have it go in one ear and right out the other. One of my bridesmaids saw this happening, so she directed maid of honor's attention to her so I can eat and not worry about the drama. I didn't find out everything that happened the night of the wedding until my husband told me at our hotel. Maid of honor's boyfriend got wasted from all of the shots and the open bar. I think sarcastically she says they're really good at cutting people off. The boyfriend peed his pants while passed out on a bench, and maid of honor had to go take care of that during the time I was getting sneakers on upstairs.
Who is this man-child?
This man has alcoholic tendencies and needs to have them addressed. And again, still not good, but it would be different if this also wasn't an event where he basically knows nobody. Can you imagine getting that?
Oh, I would cut off the friend. And the friend's not apologizing for any of this, by the way.
In my opinion, like, the person who needs to apologize this is clearly the boyfriend. I mean, the friend can be like, I'm sorry for his behavior, but what does that mean? That means nothing. She's not the one doing this.
You're the maid of honor. It's an honor.
If anything, yeah, she should be apologizing for being absent from those duties. Anyway, the staff members also had to lock him in a room at one point because he was getting too rowdy and wasted for the guests to enjoy themselves. I would never be that guy. During the dancing time of the wedding, he was inappropriately interacting with the staff members, the owner of the venue, and some of our family members. You know it's bad if my author, whom I edited books for, wanted to have a few words for him. Mind you, I never liked the guy. I told maid of honor I didn't like him beforehand, but I would give him a chance to be civil with him in the same room. And my parents sided with me, not wanting to invite him, but she would have been the only person to not be allowed a +1. And I found out from my brother-in-law that my best friend-in-law and brother-in-law were taking my maid of honor and her boyfriend home that same night. And she was apologizing to them about her boyfriend's behavior. My best friend-in-law told me this and said that she should have been apologizing to me and my husband instead of them, which is true.
So, yeah, that's like, thank you, Captain Obvious. I don't know why that has to be like pointed out.
I'd like to point something out. You can join us every single weekday at 3 p.m. PST when we go live on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch. Just tap our profile
Easy.
and you're in.
I just did it. It was so easy.
All of you
Look, I'll do it again.
listeners
Just
out
tap.
there, give us a tap and check us out.
Tap.
We might even be live right now, but before you go check on that, let's collect our thoughts and finish this story. So,
Thoughts are collected, and I'm upset. Who is this guy? Like, I am getting secondhand embarrassment for the maid of honor and this guy. You're at a family function, but at a wedding.
yeah.
Where
A wedding, dude. A wedding.
I get it. It happens. People do get a little crunky.
This isn't even like the after. This is like
the
ceremony.
This is
the reception.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah. Personally, if my husband would have acted out like that, I would have apologized or even had a conversation with him before the wedding saying, hey, this is my friend's wedding. We need to be respectful of their wishes and make sure they have a good day. I guess what really brought this up was I felt she was trying to take advantage of me with rides and my home, etc. So am I the a-hole for not talking to my maid of honor anymore instantly because of not asking her boyfriend to be respectful at her friend's wedding? Also, I understand I shouldn't have invited him if I didn't want to. Even my parents didn't want to. But maid of honor would have been the only person out of 80 people to not be allowed a guest, and my parents understood why. Well, sometimes, OP, you got to stand on business.
It's your wedding, your rules.
Remember how your boyfriend got at the wedding shower? Don't want him at my wedding.
Or at least you could have made like that very proactive, like he needs to be on his best behavior.
Yeah, he cannot overconsume. That needs to be
in this what? That didn't happen.
So again, I guess this is another case of a great way to get ahead of a lot of problems interpersonally with other people in your life is to just have a conversation. Even if it feels hard, if it feels awkward, if it feels scary, have that conversation because it's going to save you so much energy in the long run.
Rip off that Band-Aid.
That's the end of that story.